When it comes to the health of the elderly, there are 5 signs of aging that you should never ignore. 1 scent. 2 huge. And 2 loss. Were you ever surprised to find that your body was altering in ways that no one could have predicted? The events do not take place all at once. Occasionally, the signals appear in the mirror, and other times, they are discovered in the manner in which other people react. The change in posture, the lingering odor, and the shirt that suddenly fits differently than it did before are all examples. In this video, we are going to discuss 5 symptoms of aging that are easy to miss yet have a significant impact. 1. You may detect 2 that are getting larger, and 2 that are gradually getting smaller or disappearing. This shift is not limited to the physical realm. They are a reflection of how your body is adjusting to new circumstances and how your presence is developing over time. Stay with me until the very end, because if you have a better understanding of these signs, you may begin to view your age not as something to conceal but rather as something to comprehend and even cherish. These alterations reveal a more profound narrative, one that can only be written by the passage of time. What is the total number of these signs that you have already observed? Well, let's find out. Sign 1. The smell emanating from your scalp and the area behind your ears is distinct. When you start to notice that your body is carrying a perfume that you have never noticed before. This is one of the indications of aging that is frequently the most shocking and one of the most neglected. This is not something that the majority of people discuss. Without someone pointing it out to you, you might not even be aware that it is there because it is so understated and silent. However, other people are able to detect it before you can, and in many instances, it is most prominent in 2 particular regions, at the top of your head and directly behind your ears. The variety of oils that our skin produces changes as we get older. Certain fatty acids on the skin tend to oxidize, which leads to the development of a particular type known as nonanal. The odor of this substance is described as being slightly greasy, grassy, and occasionally musty. Unsanitary conditions are not the cause of this. You can take a shower every day, use shampoo, soap, and even cologne, yet the odor will still be present all the time. This is due to the fact that nonanal adheres to fabrics, builds up in the scalps, boils, and lingers in areas of the body where the skin folds about itself and breathes less, such as behind the ears. It's possible that you simply won't notice it. As a matter of fact, many elderly people fail to recognize it for years, but those who are closest to you, such as family and friends, and even people you don't know, can pick up on it. And without uttering a single word, that calm knowledge has the power to mold how other people perceive you. Now we come to the important part. There is no need to be ashamed. The issue is one of awareness. Recognizing the ways in which the body changes with age is an essential component of self-respect. Just as it is important to remember to brush our teeth and keep our clothes clean every day. If you have observed that your pillowcase has picked up more scent than usual, or if your scalp has a tendency to become oily in a short amount of time, you are not alone, and there is a reason for this. It can be addressed in a variety of ways. There are things that can be helpful, such as shampoos that target nonanal, natural antibacterial sprays, and even certain diets that are high in antioxidants. However, even more than that, being aware of what is taking place restores a feeling of control over the situation. You are not only doing nothing but aging. It is clear that you are adjusting, maintaining awareness, and taking care of oneself with purpose. However, if you have ever puzzled why your favorite hat started smelling different or why your neckline has been retaining perfume for a longer period of time than it used to, it is possible that this is your body's subtle way of indicating the passage of time. And now that you are aware of it, you are able to face it with awareness and self-assurance. The second sign is ears that gradually begin to grow larger over time. The size and shape of your ears may be the last thing you anticipate changing as you get older, despite the fact that there are many subtle symptoms of aging. But the fact of the matter is that ears continue to develop. In point of fact, research has demonstrated that the length of the ear steadily rises with age. frequently becoming longer, becoming more droopy, and become more conspicuous as the years pass. During the course of several decades, the difference becomes apparent, particularly when you look back at old photographs or catch your reflection in specific lighting conditions. You might not see it happening on a daily basis, but it becomes obvious over decades. This expansion is not merely an illusion or swelling, rather, it is a physiological phenomenon. Our ears are composed of cartilage for the most part. In addition, cartilage undergoes alteration, despite the fact that it does not develop in the same manner as bone or muscle. Over the course of time, it deteriorates and loses its flexibility. The ears will sag and stretch as a result of this, especially when combined with gravity. You may see that the lobes are getting longer, that the upper ear is beginning to slope downhill, and that the entire ear is beginning to appear more pronounced than it did when you were younger. Moreover, here is something that the majority of people are unaware of. Men are not the only ones who can experience change. It is also experiencing by women. On the other hand, the change is more noticeable in men because they frequently have shorter hair or grow bald as they get older. It is not unusual for a person to have the impression that their ears have suddenly become the focal point of their face, when in truth, this has been happening gradually and consistently for the entire time. There is a quiet emotional weight that this sign holds for many people. We are so accustomed to our ears that we don't even consider them to be capable of change. Consequently, when they do, it might feel like a loss of youth, even if the rest of the body is vigorous and capable of doing what it needs to do. But what if we had a different perspective on it? Assuming that these alterations were not a defect but rather a form of story that was inscribed in the folds of cartilage and sculpted by time and experience. What would you think? The appearance of having wider ears is something that some people prefer to embrace because they believe it contributes to their unique personality. Some people choose to make modest modifications to their appearance, such as allowing their hair to grow longer around the sides, choosing to wear glasses that alter their optical balance, or even modifying the styles of their hats. No matter what approach you use, the most important thing is awareness, not insecurity. When you have a better understanding of how the process of aging comes about, you will feel more empowered to face it with dignity, humor, and perhaps even a little bit of pride. When you next find yourself in the mirror, ask yourself, have my ears always looked like that? And continue thinking about it. Do not forget that it is not just you. It is a natural aspect of becoming older, and it indicates that your body is merely carrying out the functions that it was designed to carry out. I would appreciate it if you could use the second comment section below to let me know that you are continuing viewing this video and that you are finding these insights to be helpful. I strongly suggest that you subscribe to the channel and activate the bell if you have not already done so. This will ensure that you do not miss any videos. With your assistance, we are able to continue producing high-quality content that will both inform and inspire you. Let's proceed with our plans now. Sign 3 is a nose that widens and narrows over the course of time. In spite of the fact that it is one of the most distinguishing aspects of the face, the nose does not preserve its original appearance as one gets older. During the course of our lives, the nose, much like the ears, undergoes continuous development, even though it might not be something that you notice in your day-to-day reflection. The change might be quite noticeable over the course of many years. Possibly, the bridge will start to sag. The tip could be rounded and sloping downward. The overall shape could give the impression of being larger or more sloping than it actually was. To add insult to injury, it is all taking place gradually, right in front of your very eyes, which is arguably the most startling component. What caused this to take place? The cartilage is the starting point. On the same level as the ears, the nose is mostly composed of cartilage, with skin, muscle, and a small amount of bone serving as support. As people become older, the collagen and elastin in their skin begin to degrade, and cartilage loses its structural stiffness. This is a natural process that occurs when you combine this with the force of gravity. you will begin to notice a gradual but undeniable shift in the direction of downward movement. In other cases, the tip of the nose, which was originally pointed or perky, may start to collapse. It is possible that the nostrils will become slightly more enlarged, and the entire feature may appear to be more prominent, particularly when viewed from the side. It is common for people to fail to see this shift unless it is brought to their attention, or until they compare an old photograph from their 40s or 50s to their current reflection. There is a moment of surprise that occurs for a lot of people who are older. Was the contour of my nose always like this? After that, a feeling of disorientation came over me. It serves as a subtle reminder that time is always at work, even on the aspects of ourselves that we are most often familiar with. However, why don't we change the way that we think about it? An alteration of the nose is not a defect. A reflection of your life can be seen in it. A sign of endurance is every smooth curve and line that gradually becomes more gentle. Furthermore, despite the fact that the beauty business may be preoccupied with the concept of reversing these changes, the reality is that they frequently make us more human and more genuine. Someone who is attempting to chase youth typically lacks the presence of a man or woman who has a face that has been sculpted by time and appears wiser than they actually are. In the event that this alteration causes you to feel less confident, there are also some minor adjustments that you can make. Certain grooming choices, such as keeping facial hair neatly clipped or wearing glasses with frames that harmonize facial proportions, might quietly restore harmony for some individuals. Others find solace in the simple act of acknowledging what is taking place and letting go of the expectation to maintain the same appearance for the rest of their lives. After all, it was never intended for us to do so. Your nose, as it develops over time, becomes an integral aspect of your personality. Those are the years that have been lived, the laughter that has been shared, and the lessons that have been learnt the hard way. When you next glance in the mirror and observe a slight change in the form of your face, you should take it for what it is and not try to change it. It was not something that was lost, but rather something that was acquired. There is a face that has been earned throughout the course of time and continues to have stories to tell. The fourth sign is a gradual but consistent decline in height. Most of the time, it takes people by surprise. When you are standing next to someone you have known for years, all of a sudden, they appear taller, or perhaps you become aware that you are shorter. When you look at an old photograph, you understand that it is not your imagination that you are seeing. It is true that you have lost some of your height. This transformation does not occur overnight for a great number of senior citizens. It occurs gradually, in a peaceful manner, and frequently without any discomfort. On the other hand, there is no denying that it is one of the most obvious and widespread indications of aging. And why does it take place? In a significant way, it is connected to the spine. There are cushions in the form of soft gel-like discs that are located between each vertebra. After some time has passed, those discs start to become dry and compress. When something like that occurs, the entire spine begins to settle, albeit somewhat gradually. Add to that alterations in posture, muscle, and weakness, and in some instances, bone loss due to illnesses such as osteoporosis, and the effect is a noticeable decline in overall height. Over a period of 10 years, it might be as little as 1 inch or as much as 2 or 3 inches. It is not merely a matter of cosmetic adjustment. Balance, mobility, and even breathing can all be negatively impacted by it. When you move, sit, or walk, the way you move might be gradually altered if your spine is bent or shorter. It's possible that you might find yourself leaning forward somewhat without even noticing it, or that you discover that you need to adjust the rearview mirror in your car more frequently than you did in the past. Additionally, you could find that reaching for high shelves or standing up straight is no longer as straightforward as it used to be. This is something that you might notice in certain situations. But let me tell you something. Even if losing height is a normal occurrence, it does not indicate that you are helpless. There are a variety of strategies to provide support for your spine and maintain a strong posture. You may help preserve your alignment by engaging in activities such as gentle stretching, yoga, core strengthening exercises, and even just walking every day. For the purpose of preserving bone density, it is necessary to engage in weight-bearing activities and consume an adequate amount of calcium and vitamin D. In addition, routine examinations can identify alterations before they become potentially restricting. However, the most essential thing to remember is that you should not evaluate yourself based on who you were in the past. Your ability to carry what you've gained is a good indicator of who you are. It is possible that you have grown in ways that cannot be seen on a measuring tape. Despite the fact that you may be a few inches shorter, you should not be disheartened if you have ever caught yourself slouching or if you have observed that your favorite pants now feel a little longer than they always have. It is your body performing the function for which it was designed. You are now aware of the reason. I would appreciate it if you could use the 4th comment section below to let me know that you are continuing viewing this video and that you are finding these insights to be helpful. I strongly suggest that you subscribe to the channel and activate the bell if you have not already done so. This will ensure that you do not miss any videos. With your assistance, we are able to continue producing high-quality content that will both inform and inspire you. Let's proceed with our plans now. The 5th sign is a progressive decrease of muscular mass that affects more than simply strength. You will eventually come to the realization that getting up from a low chair requires more work than it did in the past. And this realization typically occurs somewhere in your 60s or 70s. It could even be anything as simple as standing stationary for an extended period of time, climbing stairs, or carrying groceries. It is not a case of laziness or of age coming up with you in a hazy sense that you are experiencing. There is something particular and quite real about it. It is referred to as muscular loss, and it is one of the most distinctive indicators of aging, despite the fact that it is overlooked. The medical word for this condition is sarcopenia. When we talk about muscle loss, we are referring to the gradual loss of muscle mass and function that occurs naturally as we become older. As early as your 30s, your body will start to lose muscle tissue. This process can begin at any age, day by day, year after year, bit by little. However, for many people, the symptoms of the condition do not become apparent until they are in their 60s or 70s. As the thighs become less firm, the arms become more pliable. Before you know it, the activities that you do on a daily basis start to demand more energy, more concentration, and more caution. That being said, the loss of muscle does not only alter how you feel, their perception of you shifts as a result. To be strong is to exude an air of unspoken assurance. It is possible to convey a subtle message of vitality through the actions of a man or woman who stands tall, moves smoothly, or lifts a suitcase without hesitation. Additionally, when that starts to dissipate, the energy that you project also begins to shift. In the beginning, you might not even realize it. You are surrounded by those who do. As well as this, there are instances when you are able to feel the change in how people view you even if no one speaks to you. To be more specific, however, the loss of muscle affects a great deal more than just appearance. It has an effect on your equilibrium, your metabolism, and your lack of dependence. The process of aging is frequently conceived of as something that occurs to us. When it comes to muscle, however, this is one area in which you may push back. If you engage in the appropriate form of physical activity, such as Tai Chi, walking, or mild resistance training, you can either slow down the rate of loss or even restore some of the weight that you have lost. The power of muscle memory outweighs the fact that your body is more versatile than you may realize. It is not about growing muscle or making a good impression on somebody. Function is the focus here. The ability to move through the day with strength, grace, and confidence is the subject of this sentence. Maintaining proper alignment and balance of the body, preventing falls, and providing support for your joints are all important aspects. And perhaps most importantly, it is about having the confidence to show that you are capable of being yourself at any age. Consequently, if you have noticed that you are getting winded more readily, that you are feeling weaker than you used to, or that you have noticed a shift in how your body reacts to effort. You should not disregard it. Neither of these are indications that you are giving up. To put it another way, they are signals that your body is requesting your attention. Also, that you still have the ability to react to the situation. Lastly, some thoughts. That being said, after we have gone over each of the 5 signals, which include 1 that you can smell, 2 that increase, and 2 that silently shrink, what is the one that struck out to you the most? This is something that you have already observed, right? Something that you hadn't been able to adequately express up to this point? Not all of these signs are physical in nature. They carry tales with them. They tell the story of how your body has changed over the course of time, how it has adapted, adjusted, and endured. In addition, even if they might not always seem welcome, they are not here to make you feel ashamed or to undermine your worth. They are here to provide as a gentle reminder that you are still present. Getting older is not a loss. There has been a change, a rebalancing, as we gain a deeper comprehension of the factors that are undergoing transformation. We gain the ability to confront these changes with a sense of clarity, grace, and a touch of calm pride. There is no damage to you. You are developing as a person. Instead of passing judgment, I would like to encourage you to take a moment today to stand in front of the mirror and observe what you see. The lines, the shape, and the manner your body carries you are the markings of a life that has been lived. Look at them and see them as such. Instead of serving as evidence of what is deteriorating, let them serve as evidence of everything you have carried, everything you have survived, and everything you are still capable of becoming. We appreciate you being here with us today. It would be wonderful if you could get in touch with us. Please leave a comment below and tell us about one item you discovered today and how you intend to put it to use in your life right now. We place a high value on your opinions, so please do not be reluctant to share them with us. Our inspiration and encouragement are greatly increased as a result of reading your remarks. I would appreciate it if you would like, subscribe, and share this video if you found it to be informative and enjoyable. With your assistance, we are able to continue producing high-quality content that will both inform and inspire you. We appreciate you taking the time to watch, and we hope to see you in the future video.